We are group 4 and this is our topic, audience profiling, anticipating reaction. So this is our table of content. Today we're gonna talk about 6 parts. The first one, introduction. Secondly, depth of analysis. Thirdly, audience awareness. Next is clarity of message and professionalism. And the final, interaction.
Hello, my name is Hoang and we are going to talk about a fundamental concept in communication, audience profiling. So what exactly does it mean? Audience profiling means studying your audience carefully, understanding who they are, what they need, and how they may react. Think of it like preparing to send an important message. You wouldn't just send it blindly. You want to know who is reading it, what kind of tone or content they expect, and how best to engage them. When you do this well, you create messages that truly connect emotionally, intellectually, and even culturally. So why is audience profiling so important? Let me give you 4 key reasons. First, enhanced communication. When you tailor your message to your audience's background and expectations, they are much more likely to understand and accept it. Second, predictive advantage. You can anticipate questions, concerns, or objections, and address them before they even arise. Third, improve engagement. By speaking your audience's language, emotionally and mentally, you create a deeper, more meaningful connection. And finally, reduce miscommunication. A well-structured, audience-focused message is easier to understand, reducing confusion and misunderstandings. In short, profiling your audience saves time, builds trust, and gets better results. But audience profiling isn't just about collecting basic facts, it's about going deeper. First, identify the purpose of your message. Is it to inform, to persuade, or to build goodwill? Knowing your goal shapes your entire strategy. Second, anticipate how your audience may react. Will they agree, disagree, be confused? This helps you adjust your tone, structure, and wording. Finally, understand both your primary and secondary goals. For example, your primary goal might be promoting a product, but your secondary goal might be building long-term trust. All of these steps help ensure your communication is not just heard, it's understood and remembered. In fact, audience profiling isn't limited to formal communication. You can apply it in daily interactions, whether you are writing a social media post, responding to customer feedback, or even speaking in a team meeting. Every time you pause and think, who am I really talking to? You are doing a version of audience profiling. The better you understand your listener, the more impactful your message will be, regardless of the platform or setting. In conclusion, audience profiling is more than just a marketing tactic. It's a core communication strategy. Whether you are writing an email, pitching an idea, or giving a presentation, knowing your audience gives your message power, clarity, and connection.
Hello, my name is May and now I will talk about audience awareness. So firstly, we need to understand audience awareness in profiling. So audience awareness is the foundation of effective profiling, which means deeply understanding. We can sketch out a couple of questions, which is who the audience is, the identity, what they already know or believe, knowledge, attitudes, or how they are likely to feel and act, emotions, or behavior. So audience profiling use that awareness in order to predict how people will react to your communication, whether that is excitement, skepticism, resistance, confusion, or enthusiasm. So in this part of profiling, the goal is not just to know the audience, but to predict their emotional and rational response. So what anticipating reactions means in audience awareness. So when you anticipate reaction during profiling, you forecast how the audience might respond before you deliver the message and prepare the content, style, and tone to match, guide, or change those reactions. Simply, it's like playing chess. You're thinking 3 moves ahead based on the audience likely behavior. So now let's look at some steps for anticipating reactions in audience awareness. So here's the detailed step-by-step process inside profiling. The first one, analyze audience data. You can gather deep insight into demographics like age, gender, location, education, or profession, psychographic, belief, interest, values, attitudes, and the last one, behavior patterns, purchase history, media consumption, or lifestyle habit. So let's take an example. If data shows your audience value eco-friendliness, so of course we will expect positive reaction with the products which have sustainability topics, which one is the right side, and negative reaction if the products is wasteful, the left one. The second step, identify emotional triggers. So let's sketch out some couple questions. What motivates your audience, like fear, pride, ambition, or compassion? What angers them, injustice, waste, or dishonesty? And what excites them, innovation, recognition, or belonging? So, for example, if your audience feels strong pride in local products, so mentioning locally made with triggers positive emotions. Let's continue with the third step. Predict likely reactions to specific elements. So, evaluate how the audience will react to the topic, supportive or skeptical, the language formal or casual, the evidence, do they trust statistic or personal story, and the call to action, ready to act or need more persuasion. So in order to easily understand what I have to say, let's sketch out a situation. So an older traditional audience might react negatively to slang language or memes, which one is above, but respond well to formal tone and statistic, the one below. So let's come to the last step, create reaction paths. If positive, we can reinforce excitement and encourage immediate action, but if it's negative, so if you doubt or reframe the issue positively, but if it's confused, clarify and simplify the message. For instance, if anticipating price concern, you might prepare messages that emphasize value for money, which one is the below one, rather than just lowest price, the above one. So now let's look at some techniques used to anticipate reaction. So the first one will be personas. The purpose is build fictional characters to represent audience segments. Like for example, we can sketch out situation like Emma, 24 years old, socially conscious, values eco products. Let's continue with the second technique, journey mapping. So this technique is in order to visualize how the audience feels at each stage. For instance, we can come from awareness to interest to decision, and finally loyalty. The third one, sentiment analysis. Analyze past comments or reviews to understand emotion, like checking Amazon reviews for keywords like trust or value. And the last one, surveys and polls. Directly ask what people expect or worry about. Maybe can buy pre-launch survey what matters most in a new product. And last but not least, we need to understand the importance of anticipating reaction. Firstly, is have we have better persuasion. You can meet the audience when they are mentally and emotionally. The second one is crisis prevention. You can reduce backlash by preparing for sensitive topics. The third one, deeper engagement, create emotional resonance, not just information delivery. And the last one, stronger credibility, using more relatable and trustworthy.
Next, let's talk about something simple but powerful, the clarity of message. Based on audience profile, you can make decisions about shaping your message clearly so that it's easily understood and prompts the response you intend. So, how can we do that? First, define your goals and objectives. Before you start, ask yourself, what do I want my audience to do, think, or feel after hearing this? Do you want to inform? To have them understand a concept? Do you want to persuade? To influence a decision or motivate them to take action? Or do you want to engage, to encourage further discussion? Whatever the goal is, be intentional from the beginning. Second, structure your message logically. A well-structured message follows this simple flow. Introduction. Present your main idea and explain why it matters. Body. Provide supporting points and evidence in a logical order. Conclusion. Summarize the key takeaways and give a call to action. If possible, support your message with visual aids like diagrams or flow charts to have your audience follow the logic. Last but not least, your language and tone. Make sure that the message is precise, understandable, and free from ambiguity. using simple language. For example, avoid unnecessary jargon that might create confusion. Keep a consistent tone throughout so your message feels cohesive. And, most importantly, make it relevant with clear examples. It's a good idea to use analogies or anecdotes or even short stories that your audience can relate to. A useful tip is to try to predict possible questions, doubts, emotions, so you can tailor your message more effectively. Now, let's look at an example. You are an HR manager introducing a new company policy, which is an updated attendance tracking system. Your goals are to help everyone understand the policy, avoid any confusion or resistance, gain cooperation from both factory workers and seniors managers, deliver the message through a structured, repeatable, and inclusive process. There are two key stakeholders here: the factory workers and the senior managers. The message should answer: what has changed? Why? What should they do? And when does the policy start? For factory workers, the whole message would be: we're using a new machine to scan your ID card when you arrive. It helps keep track of hours more accurately and avoid manual errors. Tap your card before your shift. If there's an issue, tell your lead. The new system starts next Monday and we'll practice this week. And for the senior manager, we are implementing a biometric system to track attendance in real time. It reduces payroll discrepancies and improves workforce analytics. Ensure your teams are trained and supervisors can monitor compliance. Full rollout begins on dates. Training materials will be shared today. The deliver methods for the blue collars can be via the supervisor team briefings, wall poster with visuals, live demo sessions, and for the white collar, email memo, slide presentation in leadership meeting, policy brief documents. So, to deliver a clear message, adjust your language, level of detail, and examples you use because your audience backgrounds, expectations, and reactions are different.